I have not seen one of those yet. Absolutely gorgeous. As we see lag, that's also very beautiful, I guess. Not really, actually lag's pretty awful. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Louie Pooey, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at Groudon in the Master League Classic. In the previous video, we took a look at Giratina Origin running Dragon Tail. So for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Groudon running Dragon Tail. So Dragon Tail is going to provide a different style of play for Groudon. Typically, this Pokemon running Mud Shot is going to be a lot more reliant on charge move damage, whereas with Dragon Tail, it's going to be dealing a lot more fast move damage. One of the benefits that comes from this is that Groudon is now able to actually farm down opponents and apply a lot of fast move pressure, which is going to improve some matchups against flying types and other Pokemon, which we'll get to in a second. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so just like we saw in the previous video, let's take a quick look at a comparison between Dragon Tail and Mud Shot on Groudon. You can see the Dialga matchup is going to become a lot worse. However, we are running Melmetal and Togekiss on the same team, so it's not too much of a problem. Yveltal going to be a much better matchup. We might surprise some opponents with a Groudon safe switch, lock them into a worse matchup. Groudon versus Giratina Origin completely flips with Dragon Tail, now dealing super effective damage, so that's really nice. And then Dragonite, one of the absolute worst nightmares you could get locked into with Groudon, now becomes playable and actually winnable with Dragon Tail. So a lot of matchups to consider with Dragon Tail. I think it's definitely worth considering and using if it fits your team comp. First battle right here, we see a beautiful lead, Melmetal into Togekiss, and the opponent's going to swap out into Landorus Incarnate form. So we're going to throw the Rock Slide right here, and then I'm going to swap out into the Groudon running Dragon Tail. Want to soften this up a little bit to make this match a little bit more playable. Eat one Earth Power here, and then get to the Fire Punch, which should be enough to knock out the Landorus at this point with the Dragon Tail damage. You see it's really chunking away at Landorus right here. The Fire Punch comes through, takes out the Landorus, and they come back in with the Togekiss. So, of course, Dragon Tail not doing anything to the Togekiss. Not that Mud Shot was anyways, but not a great matchup in general for the Groudon. So we're going to farm down here, but we do get off one Fire Punch, come back in with the Melmetal. Of course, maintaining alignment here is the most important thing. Togekiss might be trying to go for a potential Flamethrower right here, and because this was actually CMP tie, they're going to have to burn a shield or let the Togekiss go down. So Rock Slide's going to come through here. Will the opponent look to shield? They let it go through, and they have a Melmetal in the back. Now, this is an interesting situation here because the opponent, of course, could be expecting me to go for Superpower and then swap out. So Rock Slide bait makes a lot of sense. And because this is the opponent's last Pokemon, I really don't expect them to throw Superpower the first time because they're going to be debuffed. They can't reset it. It's their last Pokemon, so I call the bait right there. Gonna go for a Rock Slide again. This might be a little bit more questionable of a play at this point because I would expect a no shield, but they do shield it up, and this makes everything perfect. Remember, my Togekiss in the back, horrible here. I'm expecting a bait here. Superpower will KO, but I call the bait with the Rock Slide. Very gutsy play, but what that means is that now we could shield right here and actually get to two superpowers, and we haven't debuffed ourselves yet. So this first superpower is going to be dealing a lot of damage. We should be able to land this second superpower right here. This is going to knock out the opponent's Melmetal. Our Melmetal showing balls of steel right there, calling the Rock Slide baits. Didn't even have to show the Togekiss in that matchup. Crazy battle right there, and we pick up the win. Golden Statesman in the next matchup, and we got Melmetal into a Ho-Oh lead. I know a lot of people are saying I got the LA jersey on. I know they lost last night. I'm wearing it because I promised that I would wear it until they got eliminated, and the jersey came pretty late. So I'm trying to make up for some lost time. We got Melmetal throwing the Rock Slide right here, and I'm hoping to catch an Earthquake onto the Togekiss. I believe it takes 4 Incinerates, so I'm not sure if I actually timed that correctly or poorly. This is going to be a Brave Bird, obviously, because they didn't throw when I swapped, so I decided to let it go through, and it happens to be a Kyogre. Not what I was expecting. I was hoping for more of a hard counter to Togekiss, and that's why I didn't shield. If I knew it was going to be a Kyogre, I probably would have ended up shielding, but it is what it is. We come back in with the Melmetal here, and I'm going to throw the Rock Slide. Not a great position because, of course, we do have that Groudon in the back, so at this point I'm hoping they have something in the back that is very weak to Groudon, something like Melmetal maybe, but it's seeming more like it's probably going to be a Dialga or something at this point, so I'm probably going to shield this up here. Problem is if they have 2 surfs, I'm actually not going to get to the second move, and they do have the second surf ready. So I'm going to let this go through here and look to come in and Dragon Tail farm down with the Groudon. Not something you could do with Mud Shot for sure, but we're able to do a Dragon Tail, take a lot of damage right there, but we get an energy lead as well, and it is in fact a Dialga in the back. So at this point, it's really hard to call what to do here, but the opponent catches the Earthquake anyways on the Ho. That's an amazing catch right there. I even went past. Granted, most people probably don't know what the counts are for Dragon Tail anyways, but that was an amazing catch, and I definitely did not want the smoke at that point, so I left the match. Hopping into the next one, Lateralis going to be leading Melmetal into Lugia. So very nice lead for Melmetal, of course. I don't think Lugia could really threaten without a move like Hydro Pump maybe. Opponent comes with Groudon, and I'm actually going to throw a Superpower here and then swap out into my Togekiss. Could have made the argument that I should probably just swap into Togekiss immediately, bank that energy for later, but it is what it is. The Groudon here, a little bit of lag right there, going to throw a Fire Punch. They might even be at 2 Fire Punches. Not hard to tell with the lag. Yes, they are at the second Fire Punch. But even no shield in this, we should be okay here, especially with that superpower damage coming through first. I'm going to let this go through and then just go for the Flamethrower, most likely get rid of this Groudon once and for all. I can't really farm us down with Mud Shot, of course. So I could have probably went for the Ancient Power, tried to boost and then farm down, but I didn't want to take a potential another Fire Punch, so I just decided to get rid of it right there. Opponent comes back in with the Lugia, and it's going to get a lot of farm here with the Dragon Tail, of course. So come back in with Lugia, come back in with Melmetal, I should say. And of course, the farm on Lugia isn't really too important because we do have a pretty nice wall here in the Melmetal, so it's more important to maintain alignment than it is to allow the Lugia to get that free farm. So Aeroblast comes through, and at this point, the opponent staying in. And when they were staying in here, I was kind of like, okay, well, it's kind of weird. Are they going to shield this? And when they did shield this, it kind of told me that they're probably extremely weak to Melmetal in the back. And I decided to shield here. I'm starting to think it might be a Togekiss, and if that's the case, I need to keep this Melmetal alive. The fact that they're staying with Lugia still means that they probably can't swap out to catch a Rock Slide on their Pokemon, which made me think it is a Flying type, and it is in fact a Togekiss right here. So getting off this Rock Slide is absolutely massive because, as we know, Groudon with Dragon Tail has a horrible matchup here against the Togekiss. So we're going to throw the Fire Punch right here. And this is going to be just about enough to take out the Togekiss, I believe. If not, one Dragon Tail should do it. There it is. We take that game. And Groudon looking pretty solid so far. I do actually like Dragon Tail as a safe switch option for Groudon. Really applies a lot of pressure. And a lot of times opponents don't really know how to react when they see the Dragon Tail. So let's see how these games play out here. We got a beautiful lead in Dialga versus Melmetal. And the opponent looks like they're staying in this matchup. So once again, I'm going to build up to 2 superpowers. I actually believe we could have 2 superpowers here before the Draco Meteor if we throw immediately. But I decided to overfarm a little bit instead for some reason. And I'm going to throw the others. This opponent's really building up a lot of energy right here. And superpower comes through. So now they're going to throw the potential Draco Meteor. I have to shield at this point because I kind of put myself in this position. Iron Head comes through. Of course, we're just matching shields. So I'm going to throw another superpower. If this does not KO, I'm going to swap out into Groudon to farm it down with the Dragon Tail. And the opponent comes in with Lugia. So not a good matchup here for Groudon, of course, but Dragon Tail's still going to add up. And let's see how this plays out. So Fire Punch coming through right here. Lugia probably going to go for an Aeroblast. I'd imagine that would take us out. Sky Attack definitely would not. So spamming these Fire Punches right here. You can see it's really adding up on Lugia. And if this is an Aeroblast, probably going to be enough to take out the Groudon. They go for Sky Attack instead. And that means maybe I'll be able to get to one more Fire Punch. They swap out instead into Landorus. And because my switch timer wasn't actually up yet, I decided to throw the move right here and then swap out into my Togekiss. Now Togekiss can survive one Stone Edge, just barely, but it can survive. I have like about 20 HP left. Of course, can't get farmed down by Mud Shot, so we're gonna be able to farm down there. And then the Lugia in the back. This game is basically over. Ancient Power here. If they shield this, the Melmetal has way too much health. They do shield, and it's CMP tie, so that's absolutely perfect for our Togekiss right here. Melmetal is going to come in and basically finish this game off. Opponent backs out. We take that game. So let's hop into the next battle. And we got Rapple G rocking the level 50 bomber. We got Melmetal into a Kyogre. So not a good lead to see here. One of the worst leads you could see with this team actually. So the way I usually like to play this is throw one Rock Slide and then hopefully 2 superpowers. Sometimes I shield this first move, sometimes I don't. In this case, I am not shielding it. And usually when I don't shield, it's in the hopes that the opponent will also not shield, get that Kyogre as low as possible. And I'm going to look to throw superpower here, probably build up to 2, look to throw back to back if I can. Expecting 1 shield from the Kyogre here most likely. There's the first shield. Swap out into Togekiss, actually banking that energy. And a Surf is going to come through. Probably let this go through, to be honest. Yeah, we do let it go through and hope they don't have a second one. They actually swap out into their own Togekiss, which isn't the greatest thing I wanted to see, but we do get to this ancient power. I'm really hoping they let this go through because I do not have a good answer in the back. They do. Now I could come in with the Melmetal, and because they're already down 1 shield, it's very likely that they're probably going to let this go through right here, which they do, and I love to see that. It's a Dialga in the back though, and Groudon doesn't have a great matchup here with Dragon Tail, or with a shield advantage we should be okay. So I'm going to shield up the move right here. It's going to be an Iron Head. And they're probably going to look to swap out into Kyogre at some point. So I'm building up to the Earthquake and looking to get a shield here with Fire Punch. Because we're running Dragon Tail, even Fire Punch is going to really pressure the shields here because look at how low they are. Kyogre comes back in. I know they're very close to a Surf, so I don't want to take that potential damage right there. I don't want to have to use a shield. They come back in with Dialga. Need to save that shield for a potential Iron Head. Not sure if the opponent actually should be throwing here or not. Their play may be to try and win with Dragon Breath damage, but by going for the Iron Head, we are able to get this Fire Punch. We might have still been able to get it regardless if they threw the Iron Head or not, but definitely a lot more comfortable after they did throw the Charge move there. So we take that game. Hopping into the next battle here, and we're going to lead Melmetal once again. This time we see a Giratina Origin. So this is one of those matchups where Dragon Tail Groudon really comes to use. So we swap onto Groudon. You can see Dragon Tail putting in the absolute work on Giratina here. They did build up for Shadow Ball, so we have to respect it. Going to shield this up. You can survive 1, but shielding it really helps dominate this matchup. Gonna go for the Fire Punch here. We did build up pretty close to the Earthquake. I mean, most people aren't aware of the counts on Dragon Tail, so as long as you get somewhere close to Earthquake, you're possible to get a shield here. Opponent's gonna throw the Shadow Ball. We will survive that, and I'm going to throw the Fire Punch. This isn't going to actually knock out the Giratina, but we should be able to farm down with Dragon Tail. They're actually staying in this matchup, which means they might be quite weak to Groudon in the back, and they actually come in with Melmetal. And this is an interesting spot for us because, of course, we will get off this Fire Punch, but they're going to get a lot of farm here if we stay in with these Thunder Shocks. And we did do a lot of damage, which is nice, but now we're going to come back in with Melmetal. And at this point, I'm starting to think they probably might have a Dialga in the back. And if that's the case, I probably should be shielding the Melmetal at this point. But for some reason, I decide not to shield and actually clicked on the Rock Slide too, which I think is a huge mistake because this actually isn't going to take out the Melmetal here. And they're going to swap out immediately, so it really makes no sense. I actually allow them to keep that alive. And with Togekiss, there's a potential that that Melmetal can come back and actually farm us down if we were able to win this matchup. But in the 1 shields, there's almost no way we're going to win this match unless we sneak in the extra Charm. So I decided at this point, because I didn't sneak in the move, I have to go for the boost. That's pretty much the only win condition here. So I throw the Ancient Power, it does get the shield, but there is no boost, and the Dialga should be able to take us out. If we were able to sneak in 1 move, maybe we could have farmed down there if we didn't throw the Ancient Power, but it would definitely be a little bit risky. The Melmetal definitely way too low at this point, and we're going to end up losing that game. So hopping into the next battle right here, and we got Chook Daddy. So we are leading Melmetal into a Giratina Altered, so another matchup that isn't great for Melmetal. Gonna swap out immediately into the Groudon, see how the opponent responds here. Of course, you don't want to see Kyogre come in, but we do see Excadrill come in. This is a very interesting safe swap into Groudon. Of course, if we decide to go 2 shields, even with Dragon Tail, we're gonna win this matchup. The opponent gives up the first shield right there, and we can survive an Earth Power, so no reason to shield just yet. We will have to shield at some point, but I want to see how this match plays out first. If they're going to invest both shields, what they're really going to try and do here. So I throw the Fire Punch once again. That gets the second shield. At this point, I know that they're very committed to trying and win switch, so I definitely want to shield up here, ensure that I maintain alignment. But it's really nice that we get this Excadrill out of the way now because, of course, Togekiss and Melmetal both very weak to it. So one of the biggest threats to this team, nice to get out of the way early on. Going for the Fire Punch right here, and that is going to take out the Excadrill. And let's see what they're going to come in with. Probably the Giratina. Yes, they are. And I'm going to look to throw an Earthquake. No, I don't think we'll get to it. They actually swap out into Yveltal. Gonna bank an Earthquake right there, which is beautiful. Togekiss comes in. It's going to destroy both of their back Pokemon. They don't want the smoke, so they back out of the match. Yveltal One of the main reasons I'm really preaching about running Togekiss in the Master Classic right now, complete wall, and a lot of people are running that Pokemon. So another solid lead right here. Opponent's going to swap out into Giratina Origin, and I come in with the Togekiss. A little bit late on the swap there, which actually means that I might have to shield at some point here. So they're going to throw the Shadow Ball. I actually decide to commit to the Farm Down, which means that I will actually have to shield here, which is a bit unfortunate. But once again, like I said earlier, I'm okay going down a shield in order to maintain switch, knowing that we'll have the Melmetal onto the Lugia, which is basically a wall situation. So you can be down in shields and still win that match. Going for the Ancient Power right here. And we get the boost. Look at that. These charms absolutely chunking. Dragon Tail is not doing anything. And at this point, Ancient Power may be enough to knock out this Lugia right here. So the opponent does shield. They swap out into Snorlax. And that's a shiny Snorlax right there. That is one of the most beautiful shinies in the game. I have not seen one of those yet. Absolutely gorgeous. As we see lag, that's also very beautiful, I guess. Not really. Actually, lag's pretty awful. Earthquake comes through. Gonna go for the Fire Punch right here. Very dominant matchup for the Dragon Tail Groudon. You could see this thing applies a lot of raw fast move damage. Getting to the next Fire Punch right here. This is going to be enough to take out the Snorlax. The Lugia is gonna come back in. And of course, we only have a Groudon here. It's gonna get taken up by Sky Attack, but there is a wall named Melmetal with two giant steel balls in the back. We saw that in the first match of this video. You do not want to mess with this Melmetal. Going for the Rock Slide, opponent doesn't shield because they know about those balls. And we're going to take that game. Going 4-1 in this set. Jumping over 2700 elo, I believe. Dragon Tail Groudon is legit. Alright, so I had to get Charlie. He's a little afraid of the fireworks out there for Canada Day. He's panting and whatnot. But those were the battles with Dragon Tail Groudon in the Master League Classic. I definitely think it has a lot of play, and in my opinion performs very well as a safe switch. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.